Dreaming of blissful summer days and creamy popsicles? Capture sun-drenched memories with the Orange Vanilla Dream Hydration Multiplier from Liquid IV. Just one stick and 16 ounces of water can help hydrate you better than water alone. Live your summer dream with Liquid IV. Tear, pour, live more. Go to liquidiv.com and get 20% off your first order with code INDULGE20 at checkout.
Welcome to Lanterns Live. It's Ralph, and this is the only live stream YouTube channel dedicated to the Green Lantern universe. I am your host, and today I'm talking about Peacemaker Season 2, Episode 1, The Ties That Grind. This is okay. There's been a lot of talk about this series leading up to last night's premiere, and James Gunn keeps talking about how characters from the DCEU are now going to be involved in the DCU, and I had theories about how that was going to work, and I'm not sure those theories were correct. I assumed that the DCEU Chris Smith Peacemaker was going to come into the DCU world of Superman. That doesn't seem to be the case. It's hard to say. But we'll get into that in a little bit, because the reason why I'm doing the show is because there was an appearance by Guy Gardner, played by Nathan Fillion, reprising his role from Superman. So that's why I'm doing the show. So what happens next week, Ralph, for episode 2 of Peacemaker Season 2? If there's no mention of Green Lantern, then there won't be a show. So I'm planning on doing these on Friday mornings at 9, as I mentioned on TikTok and my YouTube shorts. But there may be a change of plans, because I'm getting Peacemaker on the West Coast at 6 p.m. So I'm thinking what might happen is I might set up a live stream for immediately following the episode on Thursday night. So hopefully we get more Green Lantern action, because I'm very, very excited to talk about more Green Lantern stuff. And I'm hoping there's more Green Lantern stuff, but I don't think there is. I was just watching over Brandon Davis, BD, is over on Hero Phase. He was talking with Sean Gunn about Maxwell Lord. And Maxwell Lord is the character James Gunn portrayed in for like a split second in Superman. Shot this scene with Hawk Girl and Guy Gardner at the same time as Superman. So it doesn't sound like the Justice Gang's involvement will be very integral to this season. So I don't know how many more episodes of this we're going to get. Lucha Johnny's in the chat. Lucha says, "Hi Ralph, episode was great." Yeah, it was, and I'm excited to talk about it. I'm doing it alone today, unless Johnny, I can send you the link if you want to join me on the stream. You're more than welcome to join me. I put an open call to Will over at Green Lantern's podcast, but it is a weird time of day, so he may be working. It's just one of those things. We don't know if he'll pop in or not. But right now, it's just me chatting about it. And let's get into before I get into Peacemaker, I just want to say again, thank you to all my subscribers, Vactor and Jeremy Kelly. Thanks for everyone who's given me super chats. Thanks for everybody who's followed in the last few months, where the page has been really growing. Again, shout out to James Gunn and Nathan Fillion for creating Guy Gardner in live action and bringing this all here. Johnny's at work. Sucks to be Johnny. But I'm glad you're here to watch. Thank you for putting me on your second screen while you work. Appreciate it. Maybe we'll get some more folks in here. Again, Kick is nothing but bots and ads. I'm going to see if I can drop Kick. Maybe I can do a live stream through StreamYard into TikTok. because I have a better following there than fucking Kick. Uh, so sorry for the language this early in the broadcast, but I'm getting really fed up with Kick. Nobody cares about Kick. I barely even get any Twitch followers, so like, who cares about that? Like there's like, I think I have one Twitch follower, and it's somebody who also follows me on YouTube. So I don't know. Maybe I'll just stop altogether and just be YouTube. Maybe I'll do that. But I think it'd be cool to kind of get on TikTok, because I have the ability to do TikTok lives. So I'd like to see some engagement over there too. So maybe I'll do that. Let me know in the comments if you want to see me on TikTok. Also, I put up a new, for you Guy Gardner fans, I put up a new Warriors Bar merch over on my merch page. Just look down below on my YouTube channel and look for the Warriors gear at the end of this video on the end screen if you are watching this on replay. So check that out. It's on Fourth Wall at Lanterns Live. Peacemaker. Again, the reason I'm doing this episode is because Guy Gardner shows up, Nathan Fillion. Again, like, dude, like, listen, as much as I liked Guy Gardner in Superman, like, this feels really like Nathan Fillion's like refined. Like, he's found his Guy Gardner. I think he looks great in this episode. Yeah, Lucha says it's weird hearing people talk about Kick, the streaming site, because my brain always defaults to thinking they mean Kick Messenger. I don't know what Kick Messenger is. But when I hear Kick, I think of NXS, which shows my age. Yeah. Yes, this is what I want to talk about. We'll talk about Nathan Fillion in a second. Lucha Johnny says, I love the retcon during the previously on the DCU and the whole sequence with the Peacemaker Justice League interview. Okay, so let's talk about retcon. I am under the impression that this is not a retcon. I believe that the Peacemaker story that we saw last time took place in the DCEU with Henry Cavill and Jason Momoa as Aquaman and all of that. I believe those events happened in the DCEU, the Snyderverse, whatever you want to call it. That era of the DCEU was the story we saw. Now, when this someone says previously on the DCU, it's basically like that Peacemaker story is almost completely in sync with the DCU storyline, but there's a couple of differences. So I feel like they both can exist. Like, both of these stories exist in alternate dimensions, but now we're picking it up where, like, the Superman DCU sort of timeline exists. So I feel like they both exist. They just happen to have a very, very similar story, except Justice League's established there and Justice Gang is established here. So I'm not one of these guys who's like way into canon. Like, I'm not like a big, like, everything has to make complete and utter sense and it has to line up perfectly. But if I were someone who took it that way, I would say DCEU exists, DCU exists. Both of the storylines were kind of the same, except where some diverge, and Justice League and Justice Gang. I was watching the Peacemaker official podcast over on HBO Max with James Gunn, and he was saying the take where Peacemaker makes fun of Green Lantern being into vomit play, was an actual alternate take from season 1. So they didn't like reshoot that. They did, however, use the same plates, the background plates for the Justice League, and used those and inserted the Justice Gang into this, which included Mr. Terrific, silhouettes of Mr. Terrific, Hawk Girl, Superman, Green Lantern, Guy Gardner, Supergirl, and that's it, right? I think that's all of them. And I thought it was fun. I thought it was really fun. So for me, you could either take it as retcon, you could take it as like just alternate universe. I'm not so beholden to canon, but at the same time, I'm like, this is kind of a way to let people know that everything's going to be okay. We're dealing with a different timeline, because it absolutely says previously on the DCU. It's almost like we're catching up to the story on this side of the universe. So great. Yeah, Johnny says it's more nuanced than a true retcon, but retcon is it's kind of a retcon. Yeah. Canon is overrated. I agree. Okay, so Fillion is perfect as Guy. Absolutely. Listen, like for years, people were fan casting. I mean, they fan casted him for everything, for Booster Gold, for Nathan Drake, for Hal Jordan. For me, I never really wanted him as Hal Jordan. I kind of wanted John Hamm as Hal Jordan. I wish that were the case. I kind of think like it would have been perfect for Lanterns. Just aged down a little bit more than Kyle Chandler, even though I think Kyle Chandler is going to knock it out of the park. And also, when I started reading Green Lantern in 1990, Green Lantern was old. He was old. He had gray. You know, I'm in my 40s and I have gray. So Kyle Chandler's going to be fine. But with Nathan Fillion, I'm kind of glad he never got cast in any of those roles. Sure, he was the detachable kid in James Gunn's The Suicide Squad, which took place in the DCEU. But like, I'm so glad that we got to this point. People were saying Nathan Fillion's too old to play Guy Gardner. And I think that, I guess, when I'm not watching the show or the movie, but while I'm watching the show, not once do I think about his age whatsoever. Not at all. Like, he's Guy Gardner. It's so perfect. He's so smarmy. I really, really liked him in this. We get a great shot in the sort of previously on the DCU of him in the field. I used it for my thumbnail artwork on this episode, which is so great. Just seeing a new shot of Guy Gardner. I love that the Superman movie is now out on digital, and we're getting more screenshots of Guy Gardner as Green Lantern, which is great because it just I went and I updated the thumbnail on my episode with Hector Navarro. It's fun seeing Nathan Fillion as Guy Gardner. I think though it was worth the wait. I'm glad he was never really cast as Hal Jordan outside the animated stuff. I think that Guy Gardner he's just like leaning into the role, and I'm hoping people watch this so that they kind of get reminded of how great Nathan Fillion is, and that they get fired up if Nathan Fillion shows up in a Lanterns teaser or trailer. The only downside for me was that I don't think the opening is good as last season's, but maybe it'll grow on me. Here's the thing. Last season was a surprise. No one knew it was coming. So it was like one of those things that was like, wow, this is great. I think it's fine. I think it's a great sequel to a great dance sequence. A lot of characters in there we haven't seen yet. Tim Meadows. We haven't seen, I forget the name of the actual character he's playing, but Roy from The Office playing Christmas brother. Keith. Is it Keith? Dressed in his superhero outfit, like from the Terrific Trio. Is that what it was? Yeah, I think once we get into the characters, we'll enjoy it more. But I mean, listen, like, what are you gonna? There's no way it can surprise us. Like, we're waiting for the dance sequence. There's no way it's going to surprise us. Last time we weren't waiting for that dance sequence. Johnny says, interesting that Supergirl was there with him. Yeah, it's kind of weird. She might have just been in town. I don't know. This takes place like, again, I'm not into canon and timelines and stuff, but this takes place 3 months after Superman, which means Supergirl was here 3 months prior to this. And I'm going to assume that where she leaves in Superman, the Supergirl movie will kind of take place in that gap. Maybe she'll come back to Earth. Maybe she comes and hangs out with Kal-El a lot. I did notice that Crypto wasn't there. I could have used a little bit of Crypto. But it is interesting that Supergirl was there and not Metamorpho. So I don't know if Metamorpho ends up joining the Justice Gang or not. That would be nice. Yeah, his age doesn't matter at all. He's so good at the character that when I watch it, I think Guy Gardner, and I don't think Nathan Fillion. Do they do something to his nose? Is there like a prosthetic or something on his nose? It looks different when he's Guy Gardner. It almost looks like it's a little bit like broken or something. I could be wrong, but I watched an interview with Nathan Fillion on David Dismalchin's page. Highly recommend checking that out. It's called Grave Conversations, where David Dismalchin gets in a coffin and interviews people in coffins. And his Nathan Fillion episode is really fun. Not a lot of Guy Gardner talk. Dismalchin talks about the bowl cut again, and we get pretty much the same stock answer that Nathan Fillion's been giving about the bowl cut, that he's been sort of the champion of the bowl cut and wanted it in there, and there it is. So yeah. Very good point about the opening being a complete surprise for season one. It threw me off when I first saw it. Also, the dance was so weird, and now this season the dance starts off with the same moves and then evolves into something different. It's fine. It's still weird, but it's enjoyable. It's enjoyable. As I mentioned before, Sean Gunn said that he shot this whole Peacemaker scene while he was doing Superman, which leads me to believe that there may not be much more of the Justice Gang in this, which makes me sad. First 5 episodes of Peacemaker season 2 went out to a bunch of sort of DC YouTubers like Brandon Davis, Jenna over at Go Read Some Comics. Listen, Go Read Some Comics with Jenna is amazing. Everybody should watch it. Go subscribe. She has the most thoughtful and thorough analysis. And it's just like really real. Like, I wish I had a brain like hers that can like sort of collect all this info and be able to think about it in from like a different point of view. Really great channel. She got a shout out from James Gunn. He recommends it. So if you're not going to listen to me and my recommendations, listen to James Gunn's recommendations and go watch and subscribe to Go Read Some Comics with Jenna. It's a terrific show. But a lot of people, including my friend Hector Navarro over at Heroes Are Forged, they also got the first 5 episodes of Peacemaker season 2. And it's been nothing but glowing. Like, everybody's like way into it. They're excited about where the DCU is going. And also they are like really, really questioning what the last 3 episodes are going to be. And James Gunn said he didn't want anybody seeing those ahead of time and those getting out. He said that even his publicist didn't see the opening or the last 3 episodes of Peacemaker season 2 because it sounds like some crazy, crazy shit's going down. So my hope, obviously, is that we get some Green Lantern. I would love to see them really mess around with these doors. I would love to see Peacemaker open a door and see the season 1 version, the DCEU version of Peacemaker, with the Justice League from the Zack Snyder film. I'd love to see Ryan Reynolds. I posted a short on YouTube and on TikTok yesterday about that. Like, I don't know what's happening in season 2 of Peacemaker, but I could see like at the end of Flash, the movie Flash. I enjoyed the movie Flash. Some of the effects in the Zoetrope were kind of hinky, but like I did like the fact that the DCEU/DCU all exist in one. So the 66 Batman and like Michael Keaton Batman and even like the Nicolas Cage Superman. Like, I like that concept, and I know James Gunn liked the Flash quite a bit. He's gone on record as saying it's a really great superhero movie. I agree. I think the climax was kind of boring. It's just a big empty green screen field. It was kind of a boring thing. But I think that let's open it up. Let Peacemaker open it up. At the end of this episode, Peacemaker kills another Peacemaker in a fight. and it's a Peacemaker that comes from sort of what he believes is a perfect reality where his dad's kind of cool with him and his brother's still alive, but he still went on to become Peacemaker, even though Peacemaker seemed like it was because of his brother's death that forced him into that. But anyway, like if he kills one Peacemaker, I don't know where he's going to go from there. Is he going to try to like cover it up? Is he going to go just shove this other Peacemaker into the bedroom and just like close the door and like just be done with it? Is he going to try to inject himself into that world and be that world's Peacemaker so that he can have another shot with Harcourt, so they can have a time with his brother? Like, is that what's happening? Is he going to go to different Peacemaker worlds and fight other Peacemakers? Is he going to bring other Peacemakers over? What is he going to do? I don't ultimately know what's happening next week, and it's sucks that it's like 6 days away, but I'm excited to be covering it, but I won't unless there's a Green Lantern in it. So I'm hoping we open some doors, and if we just get like a shot of Chip, if we get a shot of Kilowog, if anybody just shows up for a split second, let's get lanterns in there. Like they're shooting on green screens, I'm assuming. Like if we get any of this stuff, I'll be covering it. But if not, I'll just be, if there is no Green Lantern stuff, I'll just be enjoying the show as normal. Yeah. Lots of interesting possibilities for the doors for sure. Absolutely. Ryan Reynolds cameo would be bonkers and awesome. Hey, listen, listen, I know the joke in Deadpool was that the suit was animated. Like, let's build a nice suit for Ryan Reynolds. Let's build a comic accurate white glove suit for Ryan Reynolds. Let's get him in this. Let's just get him in that. A really good actual suit just to show up for a bit. Like, I would even go meta with it. A conversation with Ryan Reynolds, Hal Jordan, and John Cena's Peacemaker would be talking about how Rick Flag told Peacemaker that he was a joke. And I would love to see Ryan Reynolds show up as Green Lantern, or even as Hal Jordan. Just stick him in the bomber jacket and the t-shirt and jeans with boots, and just give him his ring and just be like, hey, listen, like, I was once thought of as a joke, but don't worry about it. If you persist, people will see your true nature or whatever, like the ring chosen for a purpose. I don't know. One of the things that bugs me is that Ryan Reynolds got his Deadpool redemption, and there hasn't been a Green Lantern redemption yet. We're hoping that happens early next year with Lanterns. Guy Gardner, Nathan Fillion is really helping with that Green Lantern redemption. But just to have like Ryan Reynolds in there to finally just sort of like let it go would be really nice. I did a whole episode on this. This was early on my channel about a year ago. Look it up do a search on my YouTube page about Ryan Reynolds and Green Lantern and him sort of finally not giving shit to Green Lantern in Deadpool and Wolverine. It would be nice if he can sort of like exercise that demon at the same time letting the DC fans know, like, hey, listen, I know it's been a running gag, but it's over. It's just done. I would really, really, really like to see that. Johnny said he believes that he read there's 99 doors in that space, which is an interesting choice. Why just 99? I don't know. And why not 52? 52 is like a big number in DC. I could have gone with 52 because I don't think they're going to show all 99. But the fact there are 99 doors, one of them clearly going to some alternate planet or something. That dude who's wandering around with like the red eyes, basically Peacemaker's pocket dimension neighbor, who just like ignores Peacemaker. Made it into the dance sequence. Not sure if that character will be important or not. We'll see. Maybe that character sees that Peacemaker killed the alternate Peacemaker. Like, I could see him like holding the dead other Peacemaker and that Peacemaker die and it pan over and the alien's just like staring at him. Like, what is that? What would that happen? Like, what would be the ramifications of that happening if someone knows that Chris did this? They're all set up as heroes, but Alt Chris didn't hesitate to try to kill our Chris. So I'm expecting some kind of twist there. Yeah, like I don't know. Keith and Augie seem pretty, like they still seem kind of like toxic masculine, like kind of like really aggressive men. And in that scene, John Cena's kind of like cowering. He's like just trying to take it in. He's trying to process his alternate life. Also, he saw his dead brother for the first time in, 30 something years. So he's processing a lot, and they keep asking him like, what's the matter? Something's wrong. What's the matter? Because it looks like this other Peacemaker is really, really like hardcore, like probably the toughest of all of them. So it'll be interesting to see if Chris, our Chris from the DCU, how he handles going into that universe and maybe possibly taking over. Yeah. Johnny says, I bet that if Ryan's available and free, to depending on what his Marvel schedule contract is like. Like Marvel, I guess it was announced that Deadpool will be showing up in Doomsday at some point. I'm assuming to do that Thor scene that we saw in Deadpool Wolverine. I think that even whatever his Marvel contract says, I feel like Kevin Feige and James Gunn are such friends that it wouldn't be an issue with Ryan Reynolds. If Ryan Reynolds wants to go over to DC to do a Green Lantern cameo at some point, I think Feige would say, okay. We know Kevin Feige and James Gunn are friends. We saw that interview with James Gunn where he had a Superman Spider-Man comic on his desk, which I hope they're sort of going for. Like, can you imagine if like Spider-Man shows up in episode 6, 7, or 8 of Peacemaker? That'd be kind of nuts. I don't know if it'll happen, but I feel like in the interest of Warner Brothers and Disney and Sony, that would be pretty huge for everybody and would really help the comic book movie genre in as a whole. We saw this summer like Superman and Fantastic Four doing good, Fantastic Four not as much. So maybe like, hey, if they do a collaboration, like I could see that really helping all parties involved, and the fans would go ape shit. I really think that fans would go ape shit. So yeah. I think that it's possible that we're getting closer again. Like, look at James Gunn was promoting the Suicide Squad and Guardians 3 at the exact same time. I think they came out like around the similar time. So like, listen, like, why not? You just talk to the heads and say, this is our projections. Like, if you take Superman money and Fantastic Four money and bundle it together, like, that's pretty good. It's pretty good. Again, Chris is here. Shiny plastic people, anything for $1. And I'm like, you know what though? They can take mine because I would watch that. I'm not the biggest Marvel fan, but listen, if I were to see like freaking Nathan Fillion as Guy Gardner hanging out with like, Tony Stark or something like that, like, how would that go? Like Iron Man and Green Lantern? Like, I feel like the possibilities are endless, and I feel like all companies involved, all these corporations that are making a ton of money, I feel like they should be able to know, like, you know what? Maybe it's not a competition. Maybe we can really, really bust some heads and get like every theater filled. Because if you thought Endgame was like insane, add Superman to that. Can you imagine if Superman showed up next to Captain America? Like, the end. Spider-Man and Batman. We don't even know who Batman is right now, but absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, let's get it an amalgam cinematic universe. Let's get like two movies, like one movie, maybe 1-2 movies per company a year, and then like every 5 years an amalgam movie or something. I don't know. I'm not one of these studio heads, but if I were, like, I'd be like, there might be some money in it for both of us, because everybody's gonna go see that. Everybody. I mean, I kind of want Guy Gardner and Deadpool. That would sound great. You know? I mean, I don't know what other team-ups I would love to see. There was a comic, I believe in the 90s, that was Silver Surfer and Kyle Rayner. And, like, that's just, like, pure bliss. Like, yeah. Give me Supergirl hanging out with Silver Surfer. Let's get Lobo versus Deadpool. How fucking sick would that be? Like, Momoa versus Reynolds? Come on. So maybe that's the way to go. Maybe don't use your big characters. There's a White Rabbit was in this episode. Total throwaway character. Doesn't really matter. And that's what James Gunn did with the Suicide Squad. He took characters like Polka Dot Man, who, whatever he did to alter that character from the comic, no one's going to give a shit, because who's the biggest Polka Dot Man fan? Nobody is precious about Polka Dot Man. That's why Peacemaker works so well, that they're changing the origins. They're changing who his dad is. They're changing all kinds of stuff from the comic book origins, but nobody cares, because if you're a Peacemaker fan, you would never in a million years believe that there'd be a Peacemaker show. So you're like, fine, do whatever you want. I just get to see the character in live action. So Hulk Doomsday. There you go. Let's get it. I think everybody wins. Everybody wins. Yeah, everyone wins. So we'll see what happens in these last 3 episodes. Again, I still am looking forward to seeing the next 4, but those last 3 apparently are going to be like where shit really hits the fan. And so I'm excited about that. And I'm looking forward to seeing more Green Lantern. Again, Nathan Fillion, great. Let's bring in Z-list characters. Let's bring in some of the weirder. Let's bring in Metaphil. Let's bring in, Gnort. Let's bring in everybody. I'd like to see kind of Kyle Rayner show up at some point, but who knows? Let's see. Let's see where this takes us. I would love to see a Kyle Rayner cameo in this show that announces the DCU's Kyle Rayner, who has already shot his scenes in Lanterns. We'll see. We'll see what happens. I want to thank everybody who's joined me in the chat. Chris and Johnny, who have been guests on this show before, as we talked about, some DC Superpower guys. Hopefully, before Todd's up, we get that Kyle Rayner DC Superpowers figure. I don't have high hopes that we're going to get another Green Lantern DC superhero character. Maybe New York Comic Con can come through and we can get something. And then if I do, you guys are more than welcome to join me on the show. I'd like to thank everybody again. Head over, if you want, subscribe to this channel. Please subscribe to this channel. Hit the bell icon, because if there's a Green Lantern next week, I don't know. I might be just jumping on live right after the episode airs. If not, it'll be Friday, 9 o'clock Pacific time. Thanks again. Again, join the subscription level and head over to my shop. I'm adding more and more products, including a jacket with the fur collar that says Ferris Aircraft on it. It's really cool. It's embroidered. The price for it was like $99.99. I dropped it down to like $75 or something. I'm not trying to make a ton of money off of that. Just trying to make enough to keep this studio running. But like, check it out. Check it out. There's cool stuff over there. And if there's any sort of Green Lantern product that you always wanted that you've never seen, let me know in the comments below. I have Radu's Coffee, and I have Warriors Bar, and I have Ferris Aircraft. So if you can think of anything else, let me know. I should do something Coast City themed. But yeah. Until next time, see everybody. Beware my podcast, It's Lanterns Live. Bye.